Danny, I say this with a slight hint of sarcasm. Your critics must be really disappointed with your performance on Tuesday. Free-flowing football, some pretty goals.
Yeah, we were pleased with our performance. I think after probably 15 minutes, I thought we didn't start as well as we would have liked. Didn't quite get the start that we like to get at home. Didn't get the control that we like. But from there on inwards, I thought we were good, and it was it was a very positive performance.
And you've been looking for that at home, haven't you? Trying to see a bit more from the team. They've been working hard, but it hasn't quite been working up until then. But a real difference, I thought, Tuesday.
Yeah, I think when you're top of the league and been top of the league for as long as we have, I don't think it's ever easy to win games of football. I think teams come, and we've seen a lot of teams set up differently at Sincil Bank to how they normally do, and you've always got to be good enough to try to break that down. And teams have made it difficult for us, and we've had to really work hard to accumulate the points that we have. We've managed to get to this stage of the season only losing once at Sincil Bank, and losing one game since October in totality, which I think is something that we're really proud of, because it shows a real level of consistency. So I can't never did that. Real level of consistency, and I think more than that, it just shows the relentless attitude and application as a group.
It also shows the depth of your squad and the importance of recruiting in January. When you think of Danny Rose coming and the impact he had, particularly in the second half, O'Hara in central midfield, and then looking at Kean Bolger coming at the back, it shows your squad, but also the importance of when you're competing for promotion in the top 3 places. If you can strengthen in January, it makes a difference.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've been really pleased with the recruitment that we've done this year, and that's credit to all the staff and the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes in that process and that area. You want a squad of 22 players, and we've managed to have that. We've probably had more depth than we had last year, definitely, and more competition for places. And what people don't realise is that players can have a real impact without actually playing and 90 minutes on a Saturday or on a Tuesday, and the competition that we have in a number of different areas drives the players on that are playing. And you look at John Akindi's performances, and the fact that he has Matt Reed, Lee Angel, Jordan Roberts, Shane McCartan, Danny Rowe, all vying for those positions. It can really drive the standards, and that's what you need. When we planned our recruitment for January, we knew that the position that we were going to be coming to this stage of the season, and I think what we were looking to try to do is make sure that we covered every eventuality. Now it's not completely possible, but we've certainly done a good job of giving ourselves the necessary cover for all of the different outcomes that can happen, particularly in a 46 game season when you're playing games Saturday, Tuesday, particularly once you get past the 35 game mark. You know that there's a likelihood that there's going to be suspensions and injuries, and you've got to make sure that you've got the depth of the squad to be able to cope with that.
2 or 3 of those players who've come in also, though, haven't really featured that much since coming in. Are they hard to keep motivated at times, and they maybe could be forgiven for sitting here and thinking, why have I come on? I'm sat on the sidelines, I'm not getting involved?
Well, I think everybody wants to play, and certainly we sign players that love football, and that's something, when we look at recruitment, one of the first things we look for is their love of the game, because we know if they love the game, then they're going to have an enthusiasm, they're going to have a willingness to learn. But with that, when they're not playing, and when you're the one starving them from doing what they love, there's obviously there can be a natural frustration. But ultimately, we sign good people and good characters, and I think that they see the bigger picture. And we work really hard with probably 12 to 20. We probably spend more time with 12 to 20 on a Monday to Friday than we do 1 to 11, because we know that it's really important that we influence those boys, and we keep them focused, we keep them motivated. The nature of our training, it's always around individual needs, whether we're training them physically, technically, tactically, or mentally. And I think that they see that we're always investing time into them, and that we want the very best for them. And I think when you sign good characters and it's a good culture and a good environment, then naturally you get you get the responses that you're looking for. And I've been actually really proud of the boys that have been just on the periphery, because when you're top, you tend to have less personnel changes than maybe if you were mid-table, or certainly towards the bottom. So they've had to be really patient. They've had to stay really focused and motivated, because we know that there's still a lot of football to be played, and that, you know, we could need them at any moment. And, you know, we've been really proud of their efforts on the training pitch and the way they've conducted themselves.
What did you say to Paul Scholes after the game that made him quit?
Obviously, always disappointed to see a fellow manager lose their job or make a decision to step away like Paul has. He obviously decided that it wasn't quite what he perceived it was going to be. Now, we don't always know the ins and outs. We're all looking from the outside in, so I won't want to comment too much on that. But he's obviously had an unbelievable playing career. This was his first step into football management. He's definitely got a lot to offer the game, so hopefully he hasn't been put off, and I'm sure we'll see him back in the future at some time.
So to Mansfield as a game doesn't need much sort of building up by me or by you, really. There's a genuine rivalry that goes back a long period of the clubs, but also between the two managers you have a genuine rivalry.
Well, I think the two clubs, obviously, because of the locality and the location of both clubs, there's a natural rivalry, which I think can be positive for both clubs, because I think it drives standards, and the fact that certainly in the last 2 seasons we've been very closely positioned in the league. So I think both of those things create a rivalry, and to me that can be a good thing. I think, like I said, it drives standards, and we're hoping that it's going to be a good game for everybody to watch on Monday night.